Welcome back and Happy New Year. Now, I have a new student who's actually an old friend of mine from practicing martial arts. And he's been looking at all of my videos and trying to wrap his mind around the whole thing. And so I made him a progression of practice to kind of make sense of meditation. And this thing about making sense about meditation is a very, very old problem. And the Greeks actually divided all of your mind into two oceans. So you could imagine yourself that you are the island, and on one side you have one ocean, and on the other side you have another completely different ocean. So on that one side you have the vast subconscious mind, which includes all of the sensations of the body. And then on that other side you have the deep unconscious mind, or the superconscious mind, which is a vast ocean of deep ideas, absorption, and samadhi. And the little conscious mind hangs out in between these two places. And we're trying to make sense of where we go in the dark. And it's a very, very hard problem. But when you look at it through the lens of heart rate variability, as I teach on this channel, it becomes very simple and very, very easy. And so that's what I want to offer you for the new year. I want to offer you something which is a very simple progression that you can follow and get very deep into meditation very, very easily. So let's get into it. So as you might have guessed, if you're a fan of my channel, the very first place that we're going to start out, and I think I even said it, is heart rate variability. So what that is you have a heart and you have breath, and when those two are in resonance with each other, we have deepening states of heart rate variability. Otherwise, your breath and your heart are completely disjoint, and your heart rate is just kind of this stable thing, and it's not this variance, which is nature. Nature loves variance, nature loves flexibility. And so you increase that and you increase your resonance. If you've ever felt like I'm out of whack, that is out of resonance. And when you're in resonance, automatically you start saying things like, I feel whole, and I feel complete, and I feel balanced, and I feel one. All of our spiritual terminology comes from this intuitive sense of being in heart rate variability. So on this channel, I have a playlist of heart rate variability. So if you're new to this concept, you definitely want to check that out. So I'll have that below. But very quickly, the 3 rules of heart rate variability is 1, get your breath rate under 7 breaths per minute. 2, take out the pauses. You don't want to pause too long at the top or bottom of the breath because it can take you out of the resonance. And number 3, make that out breath slightly longer than the in breath. That's going to maximize the dorsal vagal nerve and the parasympathetic system. So a really beautiful thing, so simple, so easy to get into. Just follow those 3 rules and you'll get into heart rate variability. It's just a foregone conclusion. So that is number 1. First of all, practice those 3 rules. Find the rate which is comfortable for you, and that's number 1, heart rate variability. Do the heart rate variability, and that will lead to step 2, which is feeling your hands hot and heavy. As you sit very still in meditation, the first thing that you may notice, I'm moving all around, but when I meditate, I sit very still, and I notice that my hands get hot and heavy. And we usually feel it in the hands first because it's whatever becomes the most relaxed, that's where we're going to notice this kind of thing first. So that's usually the hands. And so the hands get very hot and heavy, the blood begins to pool, and the skin begins to dry out because we're not sweating, we're not in a stress response. That's a galvanic skin response, and that's why the hands get hot and heavy. In heart rate variability. All right? So it's a beautiful, glorious, easy sign to get. And so that's your next step, is to actually experience that once. And then after you've experienced it once, try and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and get to the point where you know 9 out of 10 times you're going to feel that your hands get hot and heavy. So 9 out of 10 times you sit down to meditate and you notice, my hands are hot and heavy again. Now, it doesn't have to be huge. We're not looking for a huge experience every time we sit to meditate. Just a little bit of hands hot and heavy, HHH, that's great. That's it. That's all you need. So you've gone from heart rate variability to hands hot and heavy to being able to sense that every single time. So now you've got success and you're doing very well with the heart rate variability because you're proving it to yourself. You've got this proof of hands hot and heavy and you're doing it every single time. So that's the third step of this progression. Following on hands hot and heavy are the rest of the 4 proofs. So I have a video called Clinical Mindfulness, and that's all about learning to look inside as you sit and meditate and introspect the changes that are taking place in your body. Pay attention to them because they're your guideposts. It's this vast sea on either side of us, and we need those little buoys in the ocean kind of letting us know, hey, you passed a milestone. And then you can go, oh my God, good job. Pat yourself on the back. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with reaffirming your success to your subconscious mind because it needs to know that you're doing well. You need to know. It's a beautiful thing. So you're reinforcing the habit of meditation and making it more profound and deep for yourself. So once you've got the hands hot and heavy, you've got that under your belt. It's something in your pocket. It's something very reliable. Then you want to continue on with the rest of the 4 proofs. So the next one is that your bottom lip, it might be your top lip as well, but especially the bottom lip may start to tingle. So you're doing heart rate variability, breathing, you're sitting very still, your hands are hot and heavy, and now your bottom lip may begin to tingle. Then you can move your mind to the dorsal vagal nerve, which is in the thoracic cavity, all the way back just before the spine. All right, so kind of move your mind back there and notice, especially on the out breath, do you feel that dorsal vagal nerve? Try and feel the whole thing. Put your mind on it. Just put your mind backwards towards your spine and try and introspect, because that extra pressure from the diaphragm is putting extra pressure on the thoracic cavity, and that pressure translates to the dorsal vagal nerve, and you can feel it on the out breath especially, but you might also feel it on the in breath. You can feel this pressure on the dorsal vagal nerve. It feels really, really good. So that's why these are meditative mellows, because they feel really good. And so right away, we're getting into these meditative mellows. We did the heart rate variability breathing, and now the hands are hot and heavy. That's a meditative mellow. The lip is tingling. That's a meditative mellow. We've put our mind on the dorsal vagal nerve, and maybe we feel something somewhere along the dorsal vagal nerve. Sometimes you feel it a lot of times right along the diaphragm. So pay attention to all of that, because those are your markers of success, and they feel really good. And so they are a meditative mellow. And right away, you're not sitting in the dark, waiting for heaven to drop on your face. You're just already getting into meditative mellows, right? Hands hot and heavy, lip is tingling, dorsal vagal nerve is doing something. It's tingling or giving some kind of pleasurable sensation. So that is the third proof. Now, move your mind while you're doing all of this. Take a break. Move your mind to the entire skin. Try and feel all of your skin in your body at once. Put your mind on all of your skin, okay? And as you do that, notice if any particular part of the body is tingling. If you have a tingly kind of sensation, like a very, very pleasurable, soft tickle. It's also been described as crawling, but it's really, really pleasurable. It's like a tickle, all a tingling all along your skin. And that's the fourth proof. And so now try and feel as many of those as you can, right? And maybe you feel one in one meditation and another in another meditation. It doesn't matter. Try and feel whatever you can. You just kind of, the idea of the four proofs is that you cycle through them. You look here and you look there in the body and you try and notice if there's something that's going on. And my description has to do with trying to get everybody to feel this. And so your own description of what you sense as you introcept inside the body might be different. So it doesn't have to, don't get hung up on my words, get the idea and try and feel that in your meditation. Feel it once, feel it twice, and then try and feel it 9 out of 10 meditations. So we're moving along, you see. We've got the heart rate variability, we've got the hands hot and heavy, the HHH, and now we're moving into the four proofs. We want to just feel those once, and then we want to feel them every single time we sit to meditate, or 9 out of 10 times, right? So we're increasing our competence, we're increasing our ease with all of these things as we introcept in meditation day after day after day. And this doesn't take enormous amounts of time. So don't try and push yourself into an hour and a half meditation when you're not quite ready for it. Sit with whatever is comfortable for you and do as much as you can of this every single time you sit. That's the idea. Okay, so now we've gone from HRV to hands hot and heavy to four proofs, and now we're competent in the four proofs. We're feeling that 9 out of 10 times. The next thing is to feel the freeze response. And so when the skin is tingling, that's part of the freeze response. Getting into the freeze response is kind of a chore because you've got to sit very still. But when you couple sitting very still with heart rate variability, you get into the freeze response very, very quickly. And so there are a number of sensations that you can feel as you get into the freeze response. So going into the meditative mellows and the four proofs, we're actually ramping up into the freeze response. And then when the hands start to tingle, we're kind of hitting that balance point, and now we're really going down into the freeze response. And so I've said that, sometimes my body can feel like it's an eggshell. It's a very, very interesting. It feels frozen, but I could break it, you understand? Another person described to me that they felt like they were a rock. They were just stone. They had become like the stone. Your body may tingle, like I said. And other people describe it to me that their whole body becomes numb. And as you continue in that, more and more of the body may just kind of disappear from your awareness. Maybe you have a head but not a body, or maybe you have a body but not a head. All of that is normal, and it just means that the perception of the body is removing from your psyche. So don't freak out. It's a very normal thing to happen. It's just that your psyche is not perceiving part of the body because it has gone very quiet. And that's a very, very good thing in meditation, of course. And so that is the freeze response. So you want to feel it a little bit, and then you want to feel it more, and then you want to feel it every single time that you sit and meditate, however you feel it, any of those sensations. So we've got tingling, we've got feeling like a stone, we've got feeling like an eggshell, like your skin is frozen, and then we've got feeling numb. All of those are part of the freeze response. So this is very, very deep stuff. Getting into the freeze response is a really big deal. It's very deep, and it's a little difficult, like I said, but when you couple heart rate variability with sitting very still, these responses are very, very easy to get into. And so we're ramping up, and then we're going down into it. So it's kind of like a little peak and then down into it. So we got all those meditative mellows and then more and more of the freeze. You understand? It's a glorious, beautiful thing. And so we went very easily from heart rate variability to hands hot and heavy, to the four proofs, to the freeze response. And we want to feel them once, and then twice, and then every single time that you sit to meditate. So now, once you've reached the end of this progression, you should be able to start your heart rate variability breathing, get the hands hot and heavy, feel the 4 proofs, and start to go into a meditative freeze. And if you can do all of that 9 out of 10 times that you sit to meditate, well, you are a master. You're a pro at meditation. That's it. I mean, you're you're on the edge of brilliance at that point. Of course, there's more. There's absorption. There's samadhi, but you are right on the edge of that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, glorious thing, and that's what I want for you in the new year. Don't think you're going to do it in a day. Don't think you're going to do it in a week. Don't think you're going to... This is a long-term... This is a marathon progression that I'm giving you. So think of this progression as this is my whole year. This is my whole year of meditative progression. So take it easy, take it slow, take it natural. Don't be in a hurry. Have lots of fun with it. Enjoy every introspection that you feel inside of meditation. Enjoy all of that because it's for you, right? Enjoy all of it. Make it easy and enjoyable on yourself. So I hope this progression, I hope you like it. I hope it's something which is inspiring and also makes this whole process very easy so that we can get past the ocean and just concentrate on these little buoys and make a map out of this ocean of meditation, which is easy to scale every single time that we sit to meditate. And that's the heart of yoga, is to make it reliable and to make it consistent. And it all started from heart rate variability breathing. It's so easy, it's so deep, and it's so practical, and it works so well. So I hope you love this. If you did, hit that bell down below so I can see you all next time, all right? Take care. Happy New Year to you and your family. God bless.